Hey folks, how you doing? Baba Joe here. I don't mind me. Let me check this right quick. I just did that a video that's uploaded now on paperwork and whatnot, and I thought I would try to do one of these videos about me and Michael talking and whatnot. Don't know yet what we'll call it, but let's give Michael a call. I really don't like this new program the phone forced me to download. Now, I'm going to just lay him up here.
What's going on?
Oh, making videos, killing time. You know how it is. We're making a video as we speak. So don't be bad mouthing everybody.
But it's what I do.
Right? But I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I was just doing my paperwork, and I did a video showing them how to do our paperwork and whatnot, and explain a little bit about cat scales. And speaking of which, how hard was it for you to learn about sliding the tandems? I was telling them on there that a lot of people confuse themselves on sliding tandem. Are you talking about sliding the truck or sliding the axles and da da da? How hard was that for you to pick up on?
Well, picking up what to do was easy. And, I mean, that wasn't that. But remembering which way to slide, that took me, because I had to keep thinking about it. And I guess part of the confusing part is what you say is when they say slide towards the problem.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, for the longest time, I'm like, all right, so that means I move the trailer, like I'm heavy in the nose. So I slide the trailer towards the nose. No.
Right.
You slide tandems.
Well, and
that's what they were talking about.
You might watch that video sometime I just did on it. I had a scale ticket, and I broke into a deal there explaining the weights and all this stuff, and used my scale ticket there as an example. And what I tell people, and I might have told you before, I don't know. Excuse me. I tell them to figure that the only thing you're really moving is the trailer tandems. And yes, I do say move it towards the problem. So if you're heavy on your trailer, you want to move the trailer tandems towards the weight problem, which is on the trailer. So that means you put your truck in drive and pull the truck away from it, but that makes the trailer tandems go towards the problem. And that's exactly what I was telling them. Is people do get very confused over that for the first little bit. Include myself. I mean, when I was new out here, I remember, it can be confusing.
Well, and I'm good now. I mean,
right.
It's real. And the other thing that really helped me was visualizing the trailer, the tandems being like the balance point.
Right.
So if I'm heavy on on the back of the trailer, well, I want to get some weight off of there. So, if I have, in other words, I'm light on the nose, I'm light on the tractor. So, well, if I move the tandems back, that's going to make, that's going to change the balance point of the trailer. You look at it as a seesaw kind of thing.
The pivot point, yeah.
You move it, and then the front of the nose will bear more weight and it'll balance it out. I mean, it's really not hard. After a while, you just get a feel for it.
Right. Well, and see, now that automatically leads into something you and I have discussed very recently, a few times actually, and that's the trailers beating us to death. You know, you can be perfectly legal on your weights, but because you're heavier behind the trailer tandems, it just picks the nose of that truck up and just bounces you like crazy. So, you know, there's well, you was in that deal yesterday where it was beating you to death, but you was out there in Oregon, not knowing what their bridge law is. You know, so do I slide it and make it ride smoother, or do I take an ass whooping and slide it after I get out of this state? You know, that's some more stuff that I really haven't covered with anybody that is a reality out here.
Yeah, and I mean, and I did exactly that actually. I ended up going, you know, I set the tandems pretty much at the 40-foot mark.
At the California hole.
It's like within the California hole.
Yep.
You know, I was a little. I probably should have gone like another 6 inches or so, another hole, but you know, I didn't. I was legal. I mean, I wasn't carrying a lot of weight.
Right.
At all. I only had just over 26,000.
Now, once you crossed out, did you slide them?
Yes. Then I ended up sliding them, and it is much smoother.
And you slid the axles back closer to the back of the trailer to remove some of that weight that was on that leverage.
Right, and it made everything much smoother.
And how far did you slide it, you think? Another 6 inches, a foot, 2 foot?
Probably, I think, basically what I did is I stuck the, before I started, the 40-foot mark was actually just a little forward of where it's supposed to be in the middle of the rear axle.
Right.
So, yeah, probably a foot and a half, 2 feet. I put the mud flap bracket right where the hinge is, or where the
door latch.
The door latch, yeah. I mean, where you latch the doors back.
Right.
I line those up. And,
right.
You know.
Well, see, now to me, I've always used that as my California hole, which I could be messing up, but I've never gotten into trouble out there with it. I always put my mud flap bracket where the door latch is open, and
but that's I mean, I'm not in the California hole. I mean, it's pouring rain right now, so otherwise I'd go out and look exactly where that mark is, the California hole mark.
Well, see, that California hole, that's always just, even to today, that just confuses the dickens out of me. The bridge laws, I understand that if somebody is tailgating you, then they don't want the weight of your trailer and the weight of that truck and blah, 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 blah. So you have to be in a certain, and I'm like, really? It sounds like just another revenue collection scheme to me. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, you know, no, I'm not going to get into that.
Well, Florida, I'll tell you now.
I mean, seriously, so California is just like, I mean, you know, and like I mean, I've told you, I mean, I grew up out there, but I've got to say, the California that I grew up in, it's long gone.
When I was doing that trade show freight, they moved our main warehouse down to Orlando. So we was in Florida a lot. I had just had both of my hands worked on one had been operated on, and the other one was due to get operated on for corporal tunnel. I'd picked up an empty trailer, empty, no weight, empty trailer, and I crossed one of them new fancy fangled scale houses in Florida, over there on 95, and their computers triggered me, and they pulled me in because I wasn't set up for the California hole. You know, I was breaking the bridge law. I said, "Are you kidding me? I'm empty." I didn't really think that applied when you're empty. "Oh yeah, you have to blow." I said, now I know it really is a money scheme. It really don't have to do with the weights of my truck and the truck following me if I don't have any weight. And that was like a $200+ fine. You know, I'm like, this is crazy.
And see, that's just wrong.
It is.
That's just wrong.
You know, now if I'd been heavy, I could understand it. If I'd had any kind of weight in there. But a empty trailer has to be in the California hole or you get ticketed. That don't make no sense to me.
Well, and it doesn't. I mean, I don't think any rational person, it doesn't make any sense to any rational person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody who's got the ability to think with some logic.
Well,
that wouldn't make.
That leaves out anybody who works for the government, because as soon as they go to work for the government, I think they give them a dummy pill. Takes away all their common sense and logic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's about making themselves look good, and trying to keep a small. See, the way I see it, the problem is, and we've unfortunately gotten to this point in this country, everybody's trying to placate the individual.
Yeah.
And somehow that concept of you can't make everybody happy.
Right.
It's not getting through. I mean, they've long forgotten that.
Well, see, now
And for me, in my opinion, for what it's worth, is you got to do what's good for the whole. Okay, and this is how we were raised. Well, majority rules. Well, to me, that's the tyranny of the 50% plus one.
Right. Right.
So you're imposing 49, your will on 49.9.
Right.
%.
So you're saying they're trying to rubber stamp everything. Here's the rubber stamp, fit in it.
It's the tyranny of the 50% plus one.
Right.
So I mean, and I don't feel that it's productive anymore.
Right.
I mean, everybody's trying, because if you don't placate the special interests, then they're going to work to get you kicked out of office and find somebody who will.
Right.
Well, I mean.
Well, and that's where pork barrels came from.
What's good? What's good for the whole?
Yeah.
What is good for the country? I mean, take a look at the way Kennedy handled things, and I know that now I'm really dating myself. I am said, well, no, I'm a dude. I'm 60 years old.
Right.
But
damn, you're an old fart.
Anybody.
And ugly.
Most people. I mean, I remember Kennedy is kind of the thing,
Right. I remember when he got shot. I was probably 4 years old, I think. 5 maybe. And the only reason I remember that, my mama
I was born
in
57. He was shot in 63.
Okay, I was 4 then. Well, it depends
Yeah.
upon when in 63, because I was
Yeah, I
born
was
late
6.
59.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's right. I was 6. And I mean, but I remember when that happened. It was kind of like, what? You know, like.
Well, I remember we lived in St. Louis at the time, and believe it or not, I have lived in the city once or twice. That's how I know I don't like them. My mom was ironing. That's something people don't know how to do anymore. And she was watching TV while she was ironing, and I was playing. I wasn't even in school yet. And she just busted out crying and all this, and I'm like, Mama, what's wrong? And she's like, Jackie got shot. Okay, who's Jackie? The president. And I remember that to this day. So, and before she had said that, I didn't even know who he was. I'm 4 years old. I wasn't into politics. But what I was going to say a while ago on that other bit is like there at them scale houses and even down to some of the cops and whatnot, excuse me, different people in the government, I think their main motivation to me is like busting trucks for nonsense, like that empty trailer with a bridge law, is a way of protecting their job. I think that they have to show that they're doing this great deed for society, and of course it's about safety, you know. So I busted this awful driver that had this illegal truck and trailer because of bridge laws and blah blah. You know where I'm going with that, and I really
understand.
and that goes right. It ain't just the DOT; it's any company. You know, the welfare people that I have seen different stuff on the internet and whatnot, and on the news, where people say that they basically beg them to take these different freebies, and it's for 2 reasons: to show that there is a need for their job, and on top of that, if we don't give away all the money that we was given this year, we can't ask for more money next year. You know,
right? And that's true. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with that from the military too. When you're
yeah.
You know, it's like you have a yearly budget, and I'm sure you remember this at the right near the end of the fiscal year when it came time to renew the budget. Man, each one of these, like for me in the Air Force, all the squadrons, man, they just went on this huge spending spree.
Right.
I mean, they would kind of be careful with their money.
Yeah.
Throughout the year, but at the end, if there was money left over, they went on a huge spending spree. I'm pretty sure that was true
with all branches. Yeah.
Company. Yeah, the company, the battalion, whatever. These guys just went nuts.
Which always drove me crazy. Why don't you give me a raise? You know?
Oh, well, we can't do that.
If we have extra, give me a raise. Boy, these trucks are hauling butt in and out of this place.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, hey, listen, I watched those videos, and, I mean, it's really sad that, that the whole thing with Nomad Radio didn't work out.
I'll agree to that.
I don't want to say... I don't want to sit here and point fingers and stuff. There was all kind of issues, but, on all sides.
Right. I'm not going to sit here and pick any of it to death. It just didn't work out,
no.
and I had great hopes for it. I really did. When he called and invited me to do that, I thought about it real hard, and I was tickled to death, and I had great hopes for it. And every show we did, I just got a little more disappointed. You know, a little more discouraged, however you want to say it. So.
Well, and I did too. I mean, it's, you know, I was just, you know, I was calling in initially to help out and whatnot.
Right, and I appreciated that. Well, and the thing is that's like Goat Bob out there in Arizona. And he said so on his call. You know, I'm just calling in to support the show. You know, a couple other people that had called in, they let me know that that's why they called, was just to support the show, which is cool.
Right.
But really wanted, I hate to call them sympathy calls, but really wanted to get some people that really wanted to call in, you know. And I ain't saying that you didn't, or Goat Bob didn't, or anybody else. I'm just saying, you know.
No, I know.
It's. I just had a lot of hopes for it. I thought that it would go a lot better than it did. But, you know, I thought that with a lot of these trucking companies, too. I thought they would have went better than they did.
Right? Right?
No.
You know.
What the heck? Well, we'll give this thing here a whirl for a little bit and see if it takes off and goes somewhere. And, like I said on them videos, we'll do what we're doing right here tonight a few times and see how it is received. And if it looks like we need to take the next step, then we will. Whatever the next step's going to be. So.
I mean, I'd be more than, you know, I mean, I don't have anywhere near your experience, but I do. You know, I mean, I've learned quite a bit in my short time here.
Right. Well, see, and that's why you and I are working so good on this, is I've got the old burnout experience, and let me see what this boy was saying here. Oh, okay. And then you've got the new perspective view of it. So I'm going to add a call onto here right quick. And everybody going to go on hold for a second.
All right.
It is merging the calls. Excuse me. You're talking to me and Michael, and we're making a video. This is our first video conference call. So, and I figured I'd just bring you in just for the heck of it, since you sent me a message.
Well, why don't we actually do a video call? Voice call.
Because I don't know how
we'll
yet.
We'll get to that.
And folks,
we'll get to that. I mean, this is just a like a first try.
And
we'll
so that
improve on all of this.
And so that the listeners know, this is my son Joseph, the one that does the stuff behind the scenes on my YouTube videos. But no, son, we're baby stepping it. And this is what we thought should be our first step. So, what the heck?
Yeah.
We'll see how it's received.
We'll improve on this, and then we'll add things in.
Right? Which is literally what we just said before you sent me that message, is we'll baby step it, we'll do this and see how it's received, and then decide what the next step should be. So, I don't want to get all involved in it and try to do a bunch of stuff and have it go the way of Nomad Radio went. Does that make sense?
Right. Yep.
So, what the heck? So you getting your homework done?
I'm working on it. I was nodding off when I sent you the message.
Right. Well, I figured when you sent me the message, you was taking a little break from it.
Yeah.
Well, take you a few minutes.
You sound discouraged there, little Joe. I'm burnt out.
You got 1 week left, buddy. You know, and ain't even
know
a
it.
whole week. Well, you got 2 assignments left, your presentations?
I've got 2 presentations and 2 papers left.
Right. You gonna have all them done tonight?
Yeah, I'll have them all done.
Yeah, right. Not tonight.
Not tonight. Yeah. I remember having to write. I mean, I wasn't working on the masters, but I did watch my ex go to her masters, and then ultimately she got her PsyD. And are you putting this on YouTube, or are you just trying to do this as a recording for us?
No, it's gonna go on YouTube.
So, you know, I mean, I watched how she, you know, what she went through. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
No.
Voluntary torture is what graduate school is. Wow. Right. Hey, certified basic training.
Excuse me. Now, how much longer have you got till you have your master's done?
It's almost a 2-year program.
So this is the end of the first year?
No, this is the end of the first semester.
Okay.
There's 2 to 3 semesters per year.
Okay.
So I started spring of 17. I should be done winter of 18.
Okay. So you've got this semester and this summer's a semester. Then next fall and next summer, and you're pretty much, well, then the fall semester and you're done. So you're going to do it, knock it out in 5 semesters.
Yes.
Okay. Now is that?
Well, here's the other thing. Realize this too, that all of the stuff that they're having you do now is to prep you for your master's thesis. No, my master's thesis is done all along. Like the assignment I just did for this semester, which was my research prospectus. The research prospectus is still part of the master's thesis. So each semester I am doing a portion of my master's thesis. Just like when I go to the Philippines next week, I am starting on collecting data. I'm doing my needs assessment. I'm doing questionnaires and surveys. All of that information gets rolled into what I do for the next 2 semesters. And when I go back for the next summer of 18, I'm gathering more data to support my original results.
So what you're working on right now is just going to be a continuous, improved and added onto project or paper or whatever you want to call it.
A monster, ugly paper.
Right.
And then when I get to my PhD level, when I get to the PhD part, I am now taking everything I did in my master's level, which is all the needs. For my PhD, I then set up a program, which is the program development class I'm taking now with Dr. Nick Berman, and I will take what I'm learning now and gather now, and I try to fix it in my PhD.
So then you basically put it into practical use in a.
Right. So my PhD is when I'm actually going to start working with the universities in the Philippines to build a dairy and a teaching model, and I start teach actually hands-on, putting into application waste management and all of that. And as with any good grad student, I'm going to make me a screwdriver.
Uh-huh. Now what class does that fall under?
Stress relief.
Coping with. Now also, folks, you have to understand that Little Joe is not your typical college student. You're what, 34 now?
I turned 35 in December.
Okay. So he's 34 now. He has served our country. the beginning of all this, he used his GI Bill and whatnot for. Used that all up, and now he's doing the ever American dream of borrowing money to get his education. So.
Yeah. Let me put this in perspective. The Philippines has taken on the Asian environment, Asian culture of year-round schooling. Their colleges are almost on par with that of America's. We recruit heavily from the Philippines for our medical industry. So, the colleges are so good that we trust our lives to their nurses that we get from the Philippines. However, one semester as an in-state resident at the University of Georgia will pay for a full bachelor's degree as a registered nurse in the Philippines.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, and that is insane. You know, I mean, none of us are looking for free stuff, but you know, it's a well-known fact that this crushing debt that you come out of school with, you know, you just never get ahead.
Well,
I'm halfway through my master's degree. I've used 2 different veterans programs. But because of the American dream and the American cost of tuition, I am as many $1,000s in debt as I am old.
Right. Well,
and
that's...
I still have a good 6 years to go.
How much do you have in debt right now?
$34,000.
Yeah. I have about that in just for my bachelor's.
Right.
You know, I mean, and that's in my chosen field, psychology, interesting as it is, I loved it. But a bachelor's in psychology is all but useless.
Now, how long ago did you take your college stuff, Michael?
The 70s.
Oh, I did that. I actually did that. I had been going to college in various different ways, you know, from after, once because I had originally dropped out of high school, and then I got my GED, went in the military, and then I started taking college courses. You know, I kind of went to college off and on throughout my entire life, but I finished my bachelor's in 2004.
Okay.
Well, a little longer than mine, Michael, but my first college class was in 2003, after I got to Minot, North Dakota, my first duty station. Maybe it was fall of 2002. Can't recall. So that was my first college class, college semester. I was part-time. I finally graduated my bachelor's degree in fall of 2006, no, summer of 2016. That spanned 7 universities in 6 different states across a total of 14 years. So I could have become a medical doctor twice over.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, you know, like for me, life kept getting in the way. And, you know, plus I'm just not, you know, I've come to realize I'm just not somebody who's really cut out. I mean, I got good grades. I mean, I did, you know, I graduated there's 3 steps. Loudy, I graduated like, I don't remember what, magna cum laude, whatever. I mean, it was like the second one. I mean, I did okay, but there was a lot of stress even just in that for me. And I said, you know what, I ain't doing this anymore. You know. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, I probably would have been better off just early on learning the trade.
Not necessarily.
You know?
As I dropped out of high school. I made it, I don't know, like second week of 10th grade. And then
Yeah, that's about how I did. That's funny.
well, then I found out that that I had a learning block, and I learned how to overcome that. And I found out I really wasn't the dummy that I'd been raised to think I was, and that I was actually a fairly intelligent individual. And went and got my GED and did some college. Did a trade through the college, industrial maintenance, because I'd already owned a business doing home remodeling and stuff. There just wasn't no work out there. And what work was there, by then, I had 3 kids, you know, a house, a home to take care of and all this. And even with my experience, everybody wanted me to start on an entry level that was below what I could afford to do. So
right. I mean, and across the board. That's across the board.
Right.
Like that. You know, like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that story or even experienced it myself.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I have, well, one in particular I really experienced, and it was bad.
Well, what I'm hoping to do, Michael, is even though I am looking at going to the Philippines, and people say I am escaping America or abandoning America, I'm actually going over there with good intentions, because I'm wanting to go over there and help them expand the piggeries, but not only expand them, but do it in an environmentally responsible way. Help them control and manage their pig waste. And then from there, I want to, with that pig waste, help them improve quality of life in them and their animals by purifying water. So I can do more, I can impact more people, and I can do more humanitarian good by going to the Philippines than I can here in America running the rat race and feeding corporate greed.
Well, and on top of...
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you know, I agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of people that do similar things, you know, like, you know, all the people that, you know, work in Africa trying to get them clean water, and, you know, and all these different, I mean, all over the world, you know, there's still, you know, millions of people that live in absolute abject poverty that, you know, don't have the skills to really survive what man has done to the earth. And, you know, so no, I mean, I applaud that. I don't think you're escaping anything. You know,
the only thing
kind
that
of a problem.
The only thing that he's really escaping is all the bureaucratic red tape roadblocks that our government likes to throw up on anybody that's trying to do anything. And that's with all the developed nations, you know.
Well, you know, that unfortunately, you know, little Joe, you're gonna run into that kind of bureaucracy no matter where you go.
To a degree.
Because,
but we've got the X on it.
Not to a degree. I'm telling you, as you get further on with a PhD, I mean, there's a well-known adage in the academic community, you know, that with PhDs, publish or perish. So, you know,
that's not true, Michael. Not the path I'm looking at doing. The path I plan on taking, and my advisor said that I'm killing my career before it ever starts. Because what I am planning to do is I want that piece of paper. Hey, he's educated. He has a PhD. What I plan on doing is as soon as I have that piece of paper, and my kids are a little older, I'm going to take that and I'm going to teach online at an online university. Kaplan University, Phoenix University, Western Governors University, DeVry. There's a lot of universities that I can 100% online, part-time, as an adjunct professor. If I teach 12 to 18 credit hours of classes in a fiscal year, I'm averaging about $40,000 American. 50 Filipino pesos to $1 American dollar. That gives me, 200,000 pesos a year. And, 2 million pesos a year. And that is more than enough to live very comfortably over there.
Well,
Here's something else. I didn't know this, but for the Philippines to come to America, or Americans to the Philippines, we actually have a tax treaty with probably 10 different countries, to where the first 3 years I go to the Philippines or a Philippine comes to the U.S., you don't have to pay any taxes.
Right.
Zero taxes are taken on income.
well, what I was
Well, and that's true. Go ahead.
well, what I was talking about was not publishing papers and all that. That's a given that he's going to have to do whatever. What I'm talking about is that he's wanting to do digesters, methane digesters from pig waste and all this, and using that to make electricity and to purify water and all this. Over there in the Philippines, and he's been checking into it, he can do that without the roadblocks and the bureaucrat nonsense that we have over here, is what I was getting at.
Well, yeah.
They're opening
Yeah.
the doors.
Yeah.
The University of the Philippines is helping me get guides and they're being more than open. I've dealt the first with the Messiah State University in Leyte. They were willing to help me. Then once all the terror attacks happened, I moved up to Luzon, which is where I'm planning on going next week, and changed colleges. And in the last 2 weeks, the University of the Philippines has, once again, another college opened their arms to assist me, because they have such a vast network of islands, and they have such unregulated animal waste that they know that they have an existing environmental issue. They're looking and wanting and desiring help.
And over here in the States, what would you have to do?
Here in the States, there's tons of
Regulations.
regulations. You have to be tested. Okay, well, when you go to take your methane digester, and before you dump it into a field, it has to be evaluated. It has to make sure it's pathogen-free. You have to make sure it's not over a certain level of your nitrogen and your phosphoruses, and there's tons of regulation. Unless you own the land you spray it on, if you're selling it as a product, or if you're doing anything else with it, there's so much regulations here in the U.S.
That is right there is what I was talking about.
You talk about pathogen. You talk about pathogen free. I mean, it's kind of a. That's actually almost laughable, because where do those pathogens come from?
Right.
You got to check it all, but you got to check and make sure it doesn't have anything. But it's corporate America, and they're greed, and the whole make me attitude, that well, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to change anything until you make me.
Right.
So that's where a lot of that pathogen comes from.
Well, folks, this has been going on for 45 minutes. I don't want to burn them out too quick on the first show. Little Joe, I'll give you a call before you go. Well, you call me before you go to bed, because you need to get back on your paperwork.
Just call me when you're done here. I'm only going to get another half hour.
Well, I'm fixing to wrap this rascal up.
All right, call me. Bye.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Michael, I enjoyed it, brother.
Yep. So did I.
We will,
we'll do it some more.
We'll see how it's received. We'll do a few more. They're going to be random. And whenever you and I have time to sit down to talk like this, we'll do her.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Folks, y'all, bye. Y'all remember, God loves you. So do we. And hope you enjoyed the show. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you're expecting. If you have any questions, comments, put them in the comments. And next time me and Mike will get on the phone, we will read your comments and discuss them. Y'all have a blessed evening now. Good night.